Here's a question that sounds simple, but almost nobody can answer correctly. If you fold a piece of paper in half 50 times, how thick does it get? Most people guess a few inches, maybe a foot if they're feeling bold. The real answer is over 70 million miles. That's farther than the distance to the sun. That's not a trick, that's math. And it's the exact same math that decides who ends up wealthy and who doesn't. Most people think money grows the way a plant grows. Slowly, steadily, in a straight line. Work more, save more, end up with more. That feels intuitive. It also happens to be wrong. Money doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows the way that paper fold grows. Almost nothing happens for a long time. And then, suddenly, everything happens at once. This is the part nobody explains properly. Not in school, not in most personal finance content. And that gap in understanding is exactly why so many people work incredibly hard their whole lives and still end up with far less than they expected. So let's actually explain it. Because once you see this rule, you can't unsee it. And it changes how you look at every dollar you earn. Here's where most people go wrong. They think the key to building wealth is income. Earn more, and the problem solves itself. It's a reasonable guess. It's also incomplete. There are plenty of high earners who stay broke their whole lives, and there are janitors and school teachers who quietly retired as millionaires. That's not a myth. It's a well-documented pattern in personal finance research. The difference between them was never really about how much they made. It was about what happened to the money after it arrived. That's the hidden rule. It isn't about earning. It's about repetition. Here's the mechanism. When you earn money and spend it, that money does one thing once and then it's gone. But when you earn money and let it generate more money, and then let that new money generate even more, you've built something completely different. Each cycle feeds the next one. The growth isn't added, it's multiplied. This is called compounding, and almost everyone has heard the word. But hearing a word and understanding what it actually does to a number are two very different things. Let's make it concrete. Picture $1 that doubles every single day. Day 1, you have $2. Day 2, $4. Day 5, $32. Still feels small. Still feels like nothing is really happening. Now, skip ahead. By day 20, you're past $500,000. By day 30, you're past $500 million. The growth in the last few days completely dwarfs everything that came before it combined. That's the part that breaks people's intuition. Compounding is boring for a long time, and then it looks like magic. Except it isn't magic. It's just math finally catching up to itself. This is exactly why so many people quit right before the payoff. They invest for 2 years, see barely any movement, and assume it isn't working. So they stop. What they don't realize is they just walked away during the flattest, slowest part of the curve. The part that comes right before the curve turns upward. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because this rule doesn't just apply to money in a bank account. It applies to almost every form of value creation you can name. Think about a business that reinvests its profits into growth instead of paying them straight out. Each reinvested dollar helps generate the next dollar. Companies that have compounded this way over long periods have turned modest early investments into some of the largest fortunes in modern history. Not because they found one lucky breakthrough, but because they let ordinary gains repeat, year after year, without interruption. Or, think about skill instead of money. Someone who gets 1% better at their craft every single day isn't just adding small improvements. Each improvement builds on the last one. A slightly better version of you produces slightly better work, which creates slightly better opportunities, which builds a slightly better version of you again. That's compounding too. It just wears a different disguise. So here's the twist, and it's the part most people never expect. The single biggest threat to compounding isn't a bad investment. It isn't a market crash. It's interruption. Every time you cash out early, restart from zero, or break the cycle to chase something faster, you're not losing a little bit of progress. You're resetting the entire curve back to its slowest, flattest point. That's why so many people who take huge risks for quick wins actually end up behind the people who did something unglamorous and simply never stopped doing it. Consistency isn't the boring alternative to getting rich fast. Consistency is the actual mechanism. The two are never in competition. Slow and steady doesn't win because it's virtuous. It wins because interruption is the one thing compounding cannot survive. So, what does this actually mean for you? It means the real question isn't, how do I make more money? It's, what happens to the money after I make it? Does it get spent once and disappear? Or does it get planted somewhere, it can generate the next cycle, and the cycle after that? It means the early years of any long-term effort, whether that's investing, building a skill, or growing a business, are supposed to feel unrewarding. That's not a warning sign. That's just where you are on the curve. And it means the version of you 5 years from now isn't decided by one big decision you make today. It's decided by whether you let today's small, unremarkable decision repeat, uninterrupted, for longer than feels reasonable. That paper, folded 50 times, doesn't look impressive after fold number 10. It just looks like a slightly thicker piece of paper. The extraordinary part is invisible until it isn't. Money works exactly the same way. So does skill. So does almost anything worth building. The rule was never a secret. It was just hiding inside a curve that looks flat for far longer than anyone expects. If this changed how you think about money, or even about the way you're building your own skills, let me know in the comments. And if you want the next video to break down exactly how people use this rule with real investments, subscribe, because that's exactly what's coming next.